Okay, let's see our next asana, Uttanasana, which is the deeper forward fold. So let's start with the beginning, maintaining the Samastati position. Feet are together, fingers soften, knees, thighs, same action as we do in Samastati, thighs rolling internally in this position, kneecap locks, buttocks rolling down in the beginning. And here chest up and place the hands on the waistline. Push the elbows back. And this is as you know, this is a forward bend asana, so which help us to stretch our back part of the body, especially from the heels to the buttocks, buttocks to the top of the shoulder, back of the shoulder. So as we go in a forward bend in a Uttanasana, so instead of the keeping our brain in the back part of the body, we're going to work on the front part of the body to making the nice space for our vital organs, not to collapsing them. So the forward bend has the beautiful benefit which help us to giving the like toning effect or vital organs as long as we maintain them soften, or as we get into the asana, as we resting the belly over the thigh in this position. So that compression, the pressure of the belly and thigh, which help us to toning our vital organs, stimulating our organs, or which help us to giving the massaging effect over vital organs. But as much we maintain we maintain that connection between the belly and thigh. So having that space, we have to work on the extension of the anterior body. So hands on the hips. So with inhalation, so lift your navel up as much possible, stretch the abdominal, rectus abdominals nicely upward, chest up, shoulders moving back and down. You just lift your chin slightly up, or you can look upward, or as well you can look front, which is comfortable. But somebody have the neck pain, just look front. With inhalation, lifting from the front part of the body. Now as we exhale here, now we're going to tilt our hip forward, and that maintaining that length in the front part of the body, maintaining that length and stay there. Hold there for a bit, like Ardha Uttanasana action, maintaining that length on the front part of the body as much possible, which will help us to make our back flat, and also which will helping us for our abdominal muscles to keep them softened, not to cleansing, not to collapsing them. All right. So now once we in a halfway in a Ardha Uttanasana action, we're reaching the hands down to the floor, close to the feet. You can place the hands on the cup shape, close to your feet, the beside of your feet on the cup shape. If somebody have the stiffness on the thigh or suffering with the back pain, sciatica pain, slip disc, all related to the back issue. So they can subtle bend the knees as a modification. So see, as we bend the knees, first of all, it helps us to allow us to bend from the directly from the hip socket. And as well as we can maintain that extension or elongation in our spine in Ardha Uttanasana or in all the forward bend position. So here as we resting bending our knees, so it can be more easier for us to get the benefit of that massaging our vital organs. So see here as we rest the belly on the thigh, first action what you're going to do, we see the floating ribs here, our lower of the ribs, the false ribs, the floating ribs, we're going to move them slightly forward towards our chest. So make a little extension here as much possible, like by pulling the navel up forward away from the waistline as much possible, making that space here. Try to stretch the front part of the body as much possible here in Ardha Uttanasana. So which will help us to find a straight back as well as and making this space. So here as we come in this position, try to draw the shoulder backward as we pulling, making that extension, not to pushing the shoulder forward, not to cleansing the shoulder tip moving backward away from the ear, shoulder pushing backward, and the movement of the scapula here, the way what you're going to do, trying to draw the shoulder blade backward here. So as we're working on the extension, so front part of the body moving forward, so the back of the skin, we're pulling backward, the scapula moving like a downward movement of the scapula, pulling them back towards the buttocks as much possible, and front part of the body nicely extending forward, lifting through the chin and look front. Straight the back. Modification, try with a bend knee, those are having the stiff thighs, but those are comfortable, straight the legs and trying to raise the sitting bone high. So once we come in the Ardha Uttanasana position, again check the alignment of your body. So here We'll try to bring our buttocks a little over our heels, which will allow us to roll our buttocks up on the top and help us to make the spine more longer, or get the deepen stretched our top of the hamstring. So it's possible only when you're rolling the buttocks up on the top. Otherwise, we get the stretch on the lower of the hamstring and stress back of the knee. So trying to raise the buttocks upwards, so take tilting movement in our hip here, anterior tilt. With inhalation, look front, Ardha Uttanasana. So as we go for the Uttanasana, I want you to maintain that extension in the front part of the body here. And as you exhale, keep looking forward, keep pushing forward, navel front, navel down to the chest, and slowly reaching the hands down to the floor. Pressing the hands strongly on the floor beside of the feet, or if possible, you can bringing the hands a little bit back, a level with the heels as much possible, according to our flexibility of our thigh. So as you completely fold forward in this position, so again, once we are in this position, try to allow your front part of the body, try to make the space in the abdominal region. So we can make the little bit more space again, not to collapsing here. Once we go completely down, again we have a little bit collapse in the lower of the belly. So we try to release that tension from the lower of the belly by making the space in our front part of the body. So try to press the chest against the knees as much possible, completely flex your spine here, and relax your head down, the crown of the head down to the floor, and use your arm strength, shoulder strength to get more deeper. So press the hands strongly and try to pull the elbows, the head of the elbow backward, like as you do the Chaturanga position. So pushing the elbows heavily backward, shoulder moving up away from the ear, and opposite direction, like moving outward, and use the stability of the shoulder, arm strength to get more deeper in this position. Same time, don't forget to make one very important action, which is the internal rotation of our thigh, which will help us to get deeper in the forward bend position. So trying to again lean forward, shifting the weight on the feet, on the front of the foot, pressing the hands strongly on the floor, keeping your cervical nicely long and head relaxing down this position, and take a couple of breaths in this position. Make your spine long and tall, head down, straight back as much possible. If somebody have the stiffness on the thigh, stiffness on the back, they can try with a bending modification. Can you please bend the knee a little bit here? That's it. So softly bend the knee, which is the same way, but they will lose a little bit of stretch on the hamstring, but yeah, they are bending directly from the hip joint. They will get the same benefit. So the main part is especially to working on this reason, to have that nice anterior tilt in our hip, which will allow us to make our back straight. Otherwise, we're going to bend from the lower spine or from the sacrum spine. We cannot make our spine long like SC is maintaining now. The spine becomes shorter, or we don't get the proper stretch in our each and every vertebra. We really don't stretch the sacrum part otherwise if we don't make that tilt. So it's very necessary to in order to stretch the sacrum region, tilting the hip forward, which will allow us to get the nice extension from the sacrum spine to the crown of the head. Stay there for a bit. As you release the posture, with inhalation, lift your head up slowly, and hands on the hips, subtle bend the knees, and then all the way up with a straight back. Lift your chest, slightly backward extension a little bit, squeezing the glutes, rolling the tailbone in, and then exhale back to center. You good? Yeah, he's become red. Okay. Okay, let's add one more. Did you stop the? You just pause it, right? Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's try. We can try now. With the chair, let's try with the chair. Yeah, with the chair we get a really good stretch. So, we'll use the chair. You start already? No? It's already running? Okay, it's okay. Okay, let's continue. So, let's try the same Uttanasana with support of the chair. So with the chair, we will have some support like to hooking our hands and pulling action, like pulling our spine more strongly by using the arm strength. So as we go in Uttanasana, here we just pressing the hands downward. But as we have some support, like for example, if we adjust the hands underneath the feet, it can give us a little bit more support. By here we hook our hands, so we can use our arm strength to go deeper in this position. But same way, we're going to use the chair, which will help us to make the bind, and we can use our arm strength to pull our spine a little bit more down. So see, I will take the chair on the center of the mat. Nikki, can you please a little bit more forward? So here. So I want you to stand on the chair. Yeah. So see, again, so as we stand on the chair, so first of all, we're going to keep our feet apart here, to otherwise there are more chances to falling or leaning one side. So we're going to keep our feet apart. We're going to bring our ankles close to the heel, close to the side of the chair. So see the outer, the lateral part of the feet, we're going to adjust on the lateral side of the seat. So the heel close to the here, like close to the hook here, a little bit more out. Yeah, the lateral heel, a little bit more out, that's it. So the pinky toe on the edge of the chair. So from the pinky toe, the small toe to the sides of the heel, they are nicely on the edge. So both sides, and also it will help us to rolling the legs, maintaining that internal rotation. So the heel a little bit out this side, a little. Yeah. So we're going to keep the heel on the cross where we have this bind, which is connecting our front leg and back leg. Make a little bit backwards slightly here. Yeah. So we'll try to keep the weight on the nicely on the both legs of the chair. Otherwise, if it's standing on the front of the chair, more chances to lean forward. All right. So more chances to do the headstand. So we're not going to do the headstand here. So yeah. So pressing the heel, the lateral part strongly, maintaining the natural arch, hands on the hip, and keep your back straight. With inhalation, let's try with the bend knee first. On the way with the straight leg, we can go both way. Inhale. As we exhale here for the bend the knee and trying to pull the extension on the anterior body, and slowly keeping the weight on the heel first, keeping the weight on the feet heel. Yeah, as you go down, don't shift the weight immediately on the front part of the feet. So yeah, heel backward, shifting the weight on the heel, and then fold forward as much possible. So once we are here, we're gonna grab the seat of the chair. For the beginner, hold the seat of the chair, but I can see she have a flexible back and she have the more space. So she can grab the front leg of the chair. So as you're grabbing the front leg of the chair with the both hands, so we try to walk the hands a little bit down and stay there for like Ardha Uttanasana position. Lift your head up, make your back straight in this position. So once we are in the starting position, this is our starting position where we'll add a little effort to get into the Uttanasana. So this is a starting position. So I want you to, from the starting position, trying to shift the weight on the front of the foot. So raising the buttocks, leaning the buttocks a little forward over the heel, and shifting the weight on the front of the foot. Pressing the big toe again. So you're pressing the big toe to pushing yourself backward, but same time you're trying to raise the sitting bone high in order to make the spine longer. Inhale, head up, look front. Again, work on the front part of the body. So trying to pull the navel up, like forward towards the chest moving forward towards the clavicle moving towards the chin, and push the chin forward away from the sternum. Take a inhale here, long inhalation. Now, as you exhale here, draw the belly a little bit inward, but as you're drawing, also lifting upward as you do the abdominal lock, the stomach vacuum, pulling the belly in, and also same time lifting the navel upward. Maintain that stomach vacuum action, pulling the chest forward, and then slowly with the exhalation, bend the elbows out, or walk. You're grabbing the feet, walking the hands down slowly, slide your hands down as much possible with a subtle bend. And maintain that knees bend in this position, walking the hands down as much possible, trying to pull the spine from the tailbone to all the way to the crown of the head as much possible. So the crown of the head moving down to the seat of the chair and walking the hands down as much possible. Just stay there for a bit, take a couple of breaths in this position, inhale. Once we're comfortable in this position, first action, with the exhalation, try to flex the chest, push the chest towards your knee, towards your thigh as much possible. Then, with the next exhalation, what you're going to do, keep pressing the chest against the thigh. Now, without losing that connection between the belly and thigh, without chest and knee, we're going to ascend the sitting bone high. Try to ascend your sitting bone higher, straight the legs as much possible, sitting bone going upward, and try to roll the buttocks up and forward in this position. Descend the lower spine down toward the upper back down to the shoulder, but shoulder blade moving upward action, like moving upward towards the chest, towards the upper back, towards the lower spine, and chest forward and down, and clavicle towards the chin. Chin soften, keeping your neck relaxed, and walking the hands down as much possible. Pushing the thigh, push the belly and chest towards the knee, towards the thigh, and thighs pushing strongly back away from the chest, like pushing backward, thighs pushing back, and then you're pressing the chest against the thigh, like completely flexing your spine in this position, but maintaining that space in the front part of the body. Just stay there for a bit, walk your hands down as much you can. As you exhale, as you release the posture, slowly bend the knees and walk your hands a little bit up, shifting the weight again a little bit forward and backward on the heel. Now place the hands on the hip, and with inhalation, little bit up, roll the tailbone in this position, chest up and shoulder back. Fix the back ribs nicely into the body. Give the little stretch, reverse stretch to the back, and then back to center. relax. Release the hand, you can step out, relax.